Hello guys and welcome back to the Minecraft mod tutorial. In today's episode I'm going to do something that's been requested by a lot of you, which is ore generation. So let's get started. What we're going to be doing is making our ore, tutorial ore, generate in the world. So firstly, create a new package called .gen, obviously standing for generation. And then we're going to create a class, which we will call tutorial ore gen. Or your mod name then, or gen. This is going to implement iWorld generator. Using implement just means you can use functions, but it's not going to extend off all the functions. If we look at iWorld generator, it has the generate function which we're going to be using. So add unimplemented methods. The generate function, we'll get to that later. Firstly, we're going to state what we're going to generate. So private world generator, and then put the name tutorial ore. Then we are going to create the constructor public tutorial ore gen, and in here we're just going to state that tutorial ore is equal to a new world gen, but it's going to be mineable as it's an ore. World gen also involves generating trees, generating structures and so on, which we'll be doing in the coming episodes. World gen mineable, import world gen mineable. We are going to do block init dot tutorial ore dot get default state, and this is the number of ores that can generate in one thing. It won't always be the same, but it'll be from like 1 up to this number, so we put 9. Before we use generate, we are going to create our private void run generator. Firstly, we're going to specify the world generator. Just call it gen, which will obviously be tutorial ore when we implement it. We need to specify the world. We're going to use random. Rand. This is just a thing where you randomly choose a number. This is going to be helping us generate our ores in random locations. We're going to have int chunk x and int chunk z, which are choosing the chunk on the x-axis and the chunk on the z-axis. So the 16 by 16 area where it's going to generate the ore. Then the chance it's going to spawn, so int chance. And then the minimum and maximum heights. Firstly, we're going to do a check to make sure nothing generates incorrectly. If min height is greater than max height, that's obviously wrong. Then if you see on American keyboard, it's the backslash button, also has a straight up line. If you do 2 of these in Java, it means an OR function. So if it's this, or it's this. So obviously we can't generate something lower than 0. So if or min height is less than 0, or max height is greater than 256, which is the Minecraft block limit, we are going to give an error, throw new illegal argument exception. And in here we're going to put the message that will display or generated out of bounds. This will appear in the console if this ever happened. It shouldn't, but it's just a safe check. Something we need to calculate in order to run the generator is int height difference. We'll call height diff. And this is equal to max height minus min height. Oh, not max height minus max height minus min height, but plus 1. As if the max height is ever 1 and the min height is 1, it will space as 0 and then it will give an error. So we need to put plus 1 here. Then we're going to use something called a for loop. Basically what this does is it goes through and runs a command multiple times depending on the amount of times you want to run it. So for int I equals 0, I is going to be what we render, what we run the function. I is less than chance I plus plus. So what this does, it sets I to 0, then it says that I is less than the chance to spawn, and then it adds something to I. So what this is doing is just running this, whatever's going to be in here, multiple times. Then we need to specify the x, y and z coordinates. So int x is equal to chunk x times 16, as each chunk is 16 blocks big. And then to make it random, plus random dot next int, and then 16 as well. We can copy this and use it for z, and just change this to chunk z, as x and z are the same size, whereas y is a lot bigger. So int y is equal to the minimum height plus random dot next int of the height difference. These three will figure out a completely random place to place the chunks of ore. And then finally we generate gen.generate world random and a new block position of x, y, z. And import block position. I'll go through this once more. This is a checker to make sure that it doesn't generate anything out of bounds. So if the minimum height is bigger than the maximum height, we obviously can't do that. If the minimum height is under the world, then we can't have that. And if the maximum height is above the world, we can't have that either. So then it throws an illegal argument and crashes the game, and will tell us why. Then we calculate the height difference, which is used in choosing where to place it on the y-axis. We use a for loop to run this multiple times, and then we use int x, int y and int z as our coordinates, and we generate. We are going to use something called a switch. So switch world dot provider dot get dimension. So what it's doing, it's getting the world, and then it wants to figure out which dimension to spawn it in. So there's going to be 3 cases of this. So use a case 0 colon case 0's overworld, and put break semicolon case 1 break semicolon, that's the end world, and case -1, that's the nether. So obviously we're going to put our code in overworld. So we're going to run generator. This will be tutorial or we're going to obviously generate world random chunk x chunk z. Then we have to choose the chance to spawn. This is a percentage, so from 0 to 100. To make this easy on our ore, our ore easy to find, I'll put it as 50 for now. But you can go through and check different values. Just remember you have to create a new world every time. Then the min height, this is an integer obviously, so the min height I'm going to set it as 0. It can generate wherever it wants. And the maximum height I'm going to put it as 50. Now if we go into our handlers, registry handler, under common, put game registry dot register world generator. We have to choose new tutorial all gem. Import this with Control Shift and O. And put 0 as we don't want it to be any more important than other ores. Now we reboot our game. We're going to have to create a new world. So go in here and create a new world. As we're going to be generating something, it won't appear in another world. If we have a dig down, see if we can find the cave. Let's see if we we're under 50 now, so we should, and here we go. We have some tutorial ore here that's generated in the world. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. There'll be a playlist link in the description if you missed any episodes. I might come back and do episode 0.5 on this once I've figured out how to do nether and end spawning. I think it's a pretty simple fix, but I'll do it in the next episode. So thanks for watching guys, my name's been Harry, and goodbye.